These are the modules that usually reside in a PLC. The first component needed is a rack, which holds all of the modules in areas called slots. The first slot is typically the power supply module, which provides the necessary power to the PLC modules. The output voltage of the power supply that we use is usually 24 volts DC, but the output current varies depending on the number of the modules needed in the PLC. For instance, this output current could be 2, 5, or 10 ampere. Depending on which and how many modules are used, the output current of the power supply may need to be higher. The second slot usually holds the CPU. The CPU is the brains of the system, and its job is to evaluate inputs, process the logic in the program we supply, and energize the outputs based on that logic. After the CPU, we may have any number of different input and output modules depending on the signals and components that we want to monitor and control within the process. If we have both digital and analog signals in the process, we would install a digital input module here and install an analog input module in the next slot. As for outputs within the system, we can install a digital output module for devices that receive digital signals, like contactors, and an analog output module for items that receive analog signals, such as proportional valves. Depending on which module models are selected, between 8 and 32 separate signals may be connected to these I/O modules. Some applications require that particular signals are processed with higher accuracy. Those signals may not be connected to the standard I/O modules, but instead require specialized modules called function modules, or FMs. FMs process signals independent of the CPU, therefore providing for higher accuracy. Another module that may be installed in this rack is a communication processor, or CP. The CPU usually contains network ports for use in industrial networks, such as MPI, Profibus, or Profinet. However, if additional communications ports are needed, we can use a CP module. These are the modules typically used in a PLC. Module selection depends entirely on the process the PLC will control. Some applications may require the use of the CP or FM modules, while others may not. Other plant processes may need many I/O modules and even require expansion racks to accommodate them.